That was awesome. As soon as I let go of getting in the chair, I just freaking raised my hand and you go, you. It was perfect.
You mean when you stopped thinking about not being in the chair?
Right. And I was like missing the whole workshop because I was like, I need to ask this question. I need to be in the chair. I need to be in the chair. And then finally I sat down at the break and I just said, you know, the message I'm getting is let it go. And then, and then I raised my hand and here I am. That's so good.
We really like it when thoughts turn to things and you notice it.
Yeah, that's so good. What I want to ask about is co-creation and what you had mentioned earlier about assertion. So I own a real estate office, and a component of it is recruiting agents to come and work in my office. And what I want to know is if an agent comes or not, is it 100% of the time a reflection of where I am vibrationally?
You and them, in other words, because you are each broadcasting and you are each receiving. So when you come together, it's always mutual.
Right.
It's always mutual. Right. It has to be.
Right.
It has to be.
So I can meet with an agent and it's like a house on fire. Like there's a connection and there's a lot of excitement and I can feel it's real. And my belief in my ability to support them or love them in that moment or wherever it is, we're both going. Like I can feel a real connection. And sometimes they'll leave, you know, and there won't be an agreement. Or even sometimes there is a verbal agreement that they will come to work in my office. And then they'll leave, and is it my vibration that wanes? Is that when the doubt creeps in, and once they're gone, I'm not physically with them, I lose that connection?
Well, rather than trying to figure out what went wrong, in a sense, instead, if you can say things are always working out for me, and if you can say things such as, whenever anyone comes, they come in response to our mutual vibration. And whenever anyone goes, they leave in response to our mutual vibration. Law of attraction is really a powerful thing in all of that. But there's something that we want to bring to the forefront here, and that is that it's always the case, but it's especially notable when you are interacting with other people. Because you know that you can't vibrate for them, you know that you can't create in their reality in the sense that you can't be their receptive mode, you can't be their path of least resistance. You know that feeling of buyer's remorse, where you felt really hot on an idea and it just seemed like the best idea, and then you moved forward with it and then it wasn't the best idea? So let's weave that into what we're talking about here, because it may sound like what we're saying is you were in the receptive mode and then you weren't in the receptive mode, which is exactly what we want to say. In other words, what buyer's remorse is finding the feeling of desire, finding the vision, finding the desire, but then not being secure enough in it to maintain it. So sometimes what happens is someone will come to you because you are for a moment there, or more there in a stronger way. It's amped up in a stronger way for you and for them. And so you meet, but maybe neither one of you are really stable there. And so the relationship doesn't continue. That house of fire sort of indicates that it was a strong blast, even an unusual blast. And that's what we most want to call your attention to, because we want you to realize that once you're in the receptive mode, that the way it feels is like the next logical step. It doesn't feel like chaos, and it doesn't feel like something big, and it doesn't feel astonishing. It just feels like the next logical, wonderful progression of a thought. So we wouldn't spend too much time trying to figure out what part anyone else is playing in our co-creations, because law of attraction is already figuring that out. We would be spending all of our time trying to figure out what we are projecting, what we are practicing as a point of vibration, and then we would pay attention to what's coming back in response to that.
Yeah, I got that.
And we would always say, no matter how it looks, let's say someone that you really wanted to come and join you came, you were both really excited about the idea, and then it fizzled, not because of you doing anything to cause it to not happen, but because they just didn't follow through. The thing that we would say to ourselves is, I really don't know all of the details of this, but I do know that things are always working out for me. I don't know all the details of this, but I do know that things are always working out for me. And sometimes it was just a value for you to have that interaction with that person for that brief time, for you to shore up your focus about something. Sometimes you interact with a person just to carve out a stronger question. You're on your way to lots of new decisions all the time, you see. Don't try to make everything come to a full fruition. Don't try to see down the road. Just keep heading down the road. Don't try to figure out every turn that you're going to make. Just enjoy the movement where it is and feel the soothing of it. I don't know what the reason for that is, but I do know that things are always working out for me. I don't know why I got stopped by the policeman, but I do know that things are always working out for me. I don't know all of the components of that, but I do know that things are always working out for me. And then as you acknowledge that things are always looking out for you, then you're able to identify the questions that life is causing you to ask, that the universe is bringing the answers to. There are no answers without questions, and there are no solutions without problems. There is no motion forward without an awareness that you'd like to be someplace other than where you are. It's all part of the continuum of this wonderful unfolding of life experience. And most of all, dearly beloved, not quite yet departed, deliberate creators, give yourselves a break. Lighten up on yourselves. Don't try to turn this conversation into the immediate perfection of your life. We want to soothe you. We want you to give yourself a break. We want you to let yourself off the hook. We want you to stop trying so hard. We want you to take effort out of the equation. We want you to stop taking score. We want you to stop taking manifestational score and start taking emotional score. How happy am I right now, and what could I do or think that would make me happier? And then watch what plays out from that.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Enough?
I think I'm good. Thank
Yeah.
you so
Really
much.
good. Really good.